Okay, and we're live. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today is Thursday, the 15th of April. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight for Future Proof. I hope everyone's doing well. Okay, welcome. Now, let's see. So, Ramadan started 2 days ago. So, wishing all our Muslim viewers, all our Muslim friends, a selamat berpuasa and also a selamat berbuka puasa, right? Tonight. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in to Future Proof. So tonight we've got some pretty interesting things to look at. Okay, so as usual, doing a mic test. If you can hear me loud and clear, please just let me know in the comment section below. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And if you are not, then welcome back. Always good to see you. Now, I hope that if you find the topic that we're talking about interesting, feel free to please subscribe, tag your friends and family so that they can come on and listen in on the topic that we're going to discuss tonight. I was also on last night with Benny, and we talked about some Fang Plus stocks. And so tonight, it's almost like a bit of a deep dive, right? So last night we touched on the surface of future proofing ourselves. Thank you, Sweeping. Sweeping Chan, thank you so much. Yeah, and so tonight we're almost diving a little bit deeper into what we touched on last night. So if you joined us last night, I hope you enjoyed that presentation last night. And tonight we're going to be talking about XR, right? Extended reality. So that's going to be an interesting topic. Okay, so if you're just joining us, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for spending your evening with us. Please feel free. Hi, Ken. Welcome. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe. If you're joining us on YouTube, don't forget to click on the bell icon and choose all, so that every time we go live, you are notified. You get a notification on your phone. If you're joining us on Facebook, follow us. If you're joining us on Twitch, follow us. And good evening, Sam. Okay, so yeah, feel free to tag your friends, tag your family. They may not know that they're interested in future proofing themselves, so tag them anyway, right? Okay, so as mentioned, tonight we're gonna take a peek into the future and look into extended reality. Now, before that, just a few announcements, probably just one really. As part of this future proof series, we try to bring to you topics and subjects that will help you future-proof yourself, help you get a glimpse of the future, understand what's happening today, and how the high-tech companies and what's happening today that could affect what's going to happen tomorrow, and that way you future-proof yourself. So, as part of that what we bring to you, we also hold classes. And so we're going to be holding our crypto classes. It's called the Crypto Investor Program that we're going to have. Now, we didn't have it last year. We had a few in 2019, and we had some in 2018. And I think, it's been those who have come for class. I'm pretty sure they would have found it beneficial. So if you're looking to perhaps upgrade your knowledge before you invest into anything, especially crypto, then I highly encourage that you invest in yourself, right? Invest in understanding what what it's about, and come for class. So to come for class, you just have to go to crypto.equitiestracker.com. And between now and the 17th, there is a promo offer. So with that promotion, you actually get a discount. So if you register between now and the 17th, which is Saturday night, you get a discount Yeah, there you go. The discount code is right there, and it's scrolling across the screen. So yeah, look, I highly encourage you to join us. Right, come for class. It's gonna be fun. We play a lot of games. Even if you're new to it, or even if you, I think you're pretty. I mean, you're quite well versed in it, or you get a general understanding. We do get deeper so that you get a deeper understanding of the subject, so that when because crypto markets are pretty volatile, right? So when they get volatile, you want to just be calm and ride out the storm, right? So because you have this conviction and this deep understanding of what you're investing into. So highly encourage you to come for class. Crypto.equitiestracker.com. There's a promo code scrolling across your screen. Take that. You've got between now and Saturday to get your discount. Okay. All right. Now let's see if there are any other announcements. No. So just a recap. Last week we had Dino come on and we looked deep into some on-chain analysis, some on-chain analytics. And so yeah, Dino comes on once a month. And now we're just gonna dive straight into it. So yes, tag your friends, tag your family. They may not know that they would like to future-proof themselves. So like us, subscribe, and also do come for class. I highly encourage you to. You get to learn about what you're putting your money into, right? And if anything, that's probably the most important. Okay, so without further ado, let's kick this off and go through tonight's presentation. Can you expand reality? Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think you can. All right. So, extended reality. What is that? Are we there yet? Okay, let's go. Okay, as usual, don't let this face fool you, right? I am not a financial advisor. Therefore, anything that I'm presenting tonight, anything that we're going to talk about, is not financial advice and should not be taken as so. This is for informational purposes only, and this is for entertainment purposes only, right? So I'm just sharing with you the research that the team has done and presenting that to you so that you become a more informed investor, a more informed person. You have some insights into the near future, right? Into what may happen in the near future. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go. Okay, so extended reality, the revolution. Now, for those of you who are older, you will probably remember the trilogy called The Matrix. I think everybody knows The Matrix. Probably even the younger ones may know The Matrix, but I know it was around the 99, 2000, right? Early 2000 was when the Matrix 2, Matrix 3 came out, and that's the one here, right? And then on the right, this is probably a more recent one. It's called Ready Player One. Okay, so extended reality, it was born in science, in sci-fi, right? In sci-fi and science fiction, and for almost a century, XR applications have fascinated the world. Now, let's look into history. So in 1968, the person you see in this photo, his name is Ivan Sutherland. And he was, so him and his student, Rob Sproul, created the first VR/AR. VR is virtual reality, AR is augmented reality, head-mounted display, right? And they named it the Sword of the Muscles. And that, so effectively that, like what you see there, that's actually connected to a computer and not a camera. It was large. It was a very large and scary contraption. It was pretty heavy, right? I mean, imagine it's 1968, and we're talking about VR, AR back then, right? So some of you probably weren't even born yet. So that's where like it kind of all started, right? Now VR is not easy to pull off, right? In fact, it's pretty difficult. And again, for those of you who are a little bit older and you used to play games, you might remember this one called Sega. Now, Sega came out with their own VR headset as well, and but it had some, some issues, right? When they were like being reviewed by the test groups, and some of those problems that the test groups actually faced were things like they were getting motion sickness, they're feeling nauseous. It just it wasn't easy, right? It's not an easy thing to pull off. So reports came in like it was making kids sick, and it was giving them headaches. Sega was warned by research institutes that prolonged use of their headset, of their VR headset, may constitute a hazardous risk. So eventually, what they did was they scrapped it, right? So that was the end of that. So like many modern technologies that we have today, right? VR and AR has its roots in military use. Look, even like me broadcasting this live to you from my home, right? The internet was released to the world by ARPANET, and that was actually it has its roots in military. And so no different, right? Like GPS, right? You've got GPS every time you put on Waze or you put on Google Maps and you go from point A to point B. That's all military tech, right? That's been released to the world. So I'll just read this quote from Citibank, right? It says, whether it's having to land an aircraft in low visibility conditions or fighting a war on a chaotic battlefield, seeing through fog has been and continues to be a key focus for the A&D industry. VR and AR users are only expanding within aerospace and defense. Right, so this is now you see in that picture that, right? So that's the heads-up display. So you can actually, for those of you who have watched Marvel and if you watch Iron Man, right? So effectively, it's kind of like that, right? Like Iron Man's got his helmet over him, and through that he can see the world as it is, but he can also see all the extra information that sort of pops up on a screen, on his display. Recently, Microsoft has won a second deal to supply headsets to the U.S. Army. Right, so you can see on this headline here on CNBC, it says Microsoft wins U.S. Army contract for augmented reality headsets worth up to around $22 billion for the next 10 years, right? And what they're gonna provide is they're gonna provide the U.S. Army with more than 120,000 devices based on its Hololens, right? Hololens augmented reality headset. Now this is interesting, right? So now you got Microsoft. Now Hololens, what do you actually use it for? You use it for games. You use it for, and now I guess you use it for simulation and for training, right? That the Army's going to use. This part's interesting, right? Basically, the IVES aggregates multiple technologies into an architecture that allows the soldier to fight, rehearse, and train using a single platform. Right? It says that the suite of capabilities leverages existing high-resolution night, thermal, and soldier-borne sensors integrated into a unified heads-up display. So what you see there, that's a heads-up display to provide the improved situational awareness, target engagements, and informed decision-making necessary to achieve overmatch against current and future adversaries. The system also leverages augmented reality and machine learning to enable a lifelike mixed reality training environment so the CCF can rehearse before engaging any adversary. So this is pretty Iron Man-like if you think about it, right? So whilst this allows them to to train and to sort of gain some reality in terms of the situation. But it also provides a lot of situational awareness, right? Because you've got all these cameras on the soldiers, and it also calculates, it allows them to sort of gain more information than they would normally have in any combat situation. So this is how technology helps, right? Here's an interesting stat, right? The US flight accidents have dropped since the introduction of AR and VR, right? So when the pilots go on the flight simulator and all that. Get that. Oops, sorry. That was so you get this they go on the flight simulator. So since it's been introduced, you see this huge drop in accidents, right? In flight accidents, and it's gone down since, right? Okay. So what exactly is extended reality? So it's a few components, right? So you have VR, virtual reality. So effectively, it is, it's a completely digital environment. So as you can see in this photo here, that's like a VR headset, right? So he's completely immersed, right? You don't see anything. You just see the lenses that's in front of you, and you're in this VR world, right? Where it is fully enclosed, and you get a synthetic experience, right? With no sense of the real world around you. So that's so extended reality XR consists of 1, VR, 2, augmented reality AR, right? Augmented reality. If you can see in this animation here, how many of you interested, right, in the audience? How many of you actually have played or still play Pokemon Go? Just put it in the comment section below. So Pokemon Go is the first AR implementation on the mobile phone, on a smartphone device, right? So effectively, it contains real world information, like you see it as it is, like whatever's in front of you, and then overlaid with digital information, right? Overlaid with, like, I don't know, you've got Pokemons there, right? And then you throw your Pokeball to catch the Pokemon. So basically, you have real world. So the real world remains. Sorry, Siri keeps going nuts. So you've got the real world as it is, right? And then you've got this layer of extra details on top of it, right? As you can see here. Now, then, okay. So now, okay. You have merged reality. So you've got VR, AR, and MR. Now, what is merged reality? Well, that's when the real and the virtual world is intertwined, right? Where the interaction with and the manipulation of both the physical and virtual environment. So as you can see in this picture, you've got 2 real humans there, and then you've got this avatar, and then you have another avatar, and then you have this. I guess this is the hologram of a car, right? So now you have virtual reality, augmented reality, and then you've got the merged reality. So that's what extended reality is. Now, can you see this? This animation? So effectively, what we see on the phone now, right? When they and rumors are that Apple's coming out with the Apple glasses, but when they succeed, right? Effectively, you can achieve what you have on the phone onto glasses. That'll be really interesting, right? Okay. So now, what's the issue here, right? The issue is that in order to commercially adopt VR or XR, right? You need to have applications. Like there needs to be a lot of real world applications to make it viable. So developing AR and VR apps are extremely complex. That's to say the least. And the cost barriers to it, like in the 1990s, a VR headset would have set you back US dollars $70,000, right? So here's a quote from The Economist in 2017. It says that the content has been underwhelming, and the gear needed to do the job properly has been too cumbersome and expensive. Now, even up to today, right? You for most VR headsets, you have a a cord that is then, a pretty long cord that is connected either to the PC or it is connected to your, say, your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, and or whatever your gaming console of choice is. So it's still kind of like cumbersome, and then it's not so easy and it's expensive, and so and there aren't, besides games, there aren't too many apps out there. But everything changed, right, in 2016. Now, for those of you who are Pokemon Go players, you will recognize this, right? So this is this is a scene from if you play Pokemon Go, this is a screenshot of that. So Niantic was the company, right? And that is a major success story for XR, for extended reality. Now, before COVID, pre-COVID, before any of the lockdowns, Pokemon Go events used to be huge. Look how huge this event was, right? It would attract hundreds of thousands of people to come and catch Pokemons, and everyone will be running around with their phone and trying to hunt Pokemons, right? Okay. At first, it was cool, and it was seen as a fad, right? It was just Pokemon, and everyone was playing it, and so you'd think that it was just a fad. But if you actually look at the numbers, it's mind blowing. Actually, it's pretty mind blowing. So Niantic actually kept on developing the features, and gradually, some of the players that played and then they left, they came back, right? And then one innovation that they introduced into that game was raid battles, basically where a group of friends, they can team up to a nearby gym, right? Now I know this, well, not because I play Pokemon Go, but my kids used to love playing Pokemon Go, and so they go to a nearby gym, so which is a local landmark or a park or something, and they take on a powerful Pokemon and they try to battle against it, and then we went into lockdown last year, 2020. What Niantic did was they modified the game so that the players can continue to hunt Pokemon without having to leave the home, right? So they modified it so that they can catch Pokemon within the home. Now, if you look at, I don't know if you can see this on your screen, but Niantic, which is the inventor of Pokemon, right? Actually, their absolute growth was 180,306%, right? Their compounded annual growth rate was the highest in America, and it was 1,117, right? It was actually the fastest growing company in America last year, right? Now that's pretty crazy and amazing, right? So Pokemon Go was actually, is actually the most profitable and popular AR game of all time. Now, they came about in 2016, right? Now, this chart here actually shows their how much the players are spending each year, and you can see that in 2016, right? It was nice, right? Everyone kind of adopted it. Then it dropped off, right? It dropped about 30%. But then from 2017 onwards, right, they continued working and making it better, and then they increased and increased. So last year, and this is only for 10 months, right? The 10 months of last year, players spent about $1 billion on Pokemon Go, right? So that's pretty impressive. Now, they say that email is the internet's killer app, right? So every time you have something new, what is the killer app that kind of brings everyone to it to make it a success? So for XR, right, extended reality, it seems that Pokemon Go, right, was the killer app, right, to bring people into into extended reality, virtual reality, augmented reality, merged reality, right? So the metaverse, right? What's known as the metaverse, which is your gaming space, right? Is XR's long-awaited killer app. So here's killer app number 2, right? Holoportation. Now, let me read out the what holoportation is. Holoportation is a new type of 3D capture technology that allows high quality 3D models of people to be reconstructed, compressed. This is the data, right? And transmitted anywhere in the world in real time. When combined with mixed reality displays such as HoloLens, this is a Microsoft product. This technology allows users to see, hear, and interact with remote participants in 3D as if they're actually present in the same physical space. Now, this sounds like something that's so sci-fi. I can't remember the name of that movie. So if anyone who's watching and you remember that name of the movie, it's like a spy movie, a British spy movie, and they go to like a suit shop to and that's their front. And then so whenever they have meetings, they have meetings with members who are located around the world. And what they do is they put on their glasses and they sit at the meeting table, and everyone's sort of sitting at the meeting table. Now they're virtually there, right? So that's like an example of the holoportation. So if you know the name of the movie, please put it in the comment section below, because I can't quite remember it. But I know which movie I'm talking about, right? It's that spy movie. Okay, so that's what holoportation is. So let's take a look at the players, at the extended reality players. Who are they, right? Now, no, it's not okay. Maya says it's Avengers. It's not Avengers. It's something else. It's it's like the English British spy. Kingsman. Yes, TCL. You got it. Kingsman. Yes, it's a pretty cool movie. Yeah, Kingsman is the one where you see the holoportation being portrayed, right, in the movie. That's what it was. Okay, so let's look now for XR to work. Many problems need to be solved, right? And many pieces of the puzzle need to kind of just fit right. So one of them will be displays. So you need to display richer visual content, where you can switch seamlessly between full and partial virtual worlds. TCL, yes, you like it too. Yeah, it's pretty cool movie, right? I mean, what's interesting is that, because of the lockdown and now suddenly the whole world is used to all these virtual meetings and going on Zoom meetings and Google Meet and all that. How cool would it be if we had those, if we could do the holoportation for our meetings, right? We literally like sit there and see each other and have that meeting. Probably cool and not cool, but yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Anyway, so then you need, a common illumination. So making virtual objects in augmented worlds indistinguishable from real objects within the same view. So you almost want to blend what's real and what's virtual and make it look real, so that you're living in between worlds, right? The real and the virtual world, right? I mean, it'll be quite a spin out. Motion tracking, obviously. So now when you play any VR game, you've got the two controllers in your hand, and that's how you sort of see your hands, right? Because it's got these sensors on it. So you want that to be, you want it to be able to sort of sense your movement, right? In this VR world. Power and thermal, obviously you need all day battery life. So assuming that your XR set, right, or your augmented reality set is actually just your pair of glasses, right, and you got these special lenses and you got cameras that sort of cameras and sensors and all that. You need it to be fully charged and for it to last you the whole day, right? Otherwise, you'd probably need I don't know, stick a battery pack to it, or to charge it, a USB charger and all that. But anyway, you need it sleek, you need it thin, you need it not too heavy, right? Because you don't want very heavy glasses. And you need it quiet. You don't want like fans spinning, next to your ear and stuff. And obviously, connectivity, you need to be connected to the internet, right? How can we sort of live without the internet these days? So you want it to not only be connected to the internet, but connected via Bluetooth and all that to every other device that you may have on you. Here's a picture. This one. So I recently bought one of these action cameras. In fact, I have it right here. This, if you can see it, this is an Insta 360 camera. So it actually, with this, I just hold the camera, right, as I go about doing my thing. It will record and everything around. It's like 360, right, and it records it in 5K. Now, so it's a 360 camera. It's 5K, so it's really high resolution, and it's really cool, right? It's really cool. The only thing is you just got to find time to like edit the videos after and do stuff. But even then, so what you see here, this is a 360 camera that is 8K. It records 8K camera. Now imagine in the future, right? Let's say you're at a whatever basketball game, or you're at a football game, or whatever game it is, and you've got these 360 cameras all around the stadium, right? And then let's say you've got friends around the world, and you're like, hey, let's go watch the game, and the game is being played in a totally different country, right? And you put on your goggles, right? You put on your VR goggles, or your XR goggles. You put them on, and then you're like, all right, I'll meet you at this location, and let's watch the game together. Or you could watch a concert together, right? You've got I don't know, Blackpink or whatever playing in another country, right? That neither of you are in, but you guys want to watch it. So they've got these 8K 360 cameras that sort of place strategically all around the place. You put them on, right? You pay for your admission ticket through some form of maybe cryptocurrency, right? You pay Bitcoin or whatever, and now you are watching. And you've got this holoportation. You see your friend right next to you. It's like, hey, all right, okay, let's enjoy the concert together. And there you are. You're watching this concert in super high def, right? In 8K. And you look around you, and because it's a 360 camera, it captures everything, right? So yeah, look, this is already being sold, right? So content makers now have the equipment that they can purchase to sort of create such content. Now, this is pretty exciting if you think about it, especially, look, we don't know how long the lockdowns are going to be, and how effective the vaccinations will be, and what's going to happen next. So if this had to happen, this will really enhance the experience and the quality of that experience, right? So pretty exciting stuff. Oh, okay. So this one is interesting. So this one shows a person who's checking out. He's got the VR goggles on, and he's like climbing. He's climbing up a cliff. I'm gonna play the video and just watch what happens, right? All right. So basically, he fell down, right? And those of you who have not actually experienced like going to this virtual world with these VR goggles, it really is very immersive. You feel it's very clever because it almost tricks your brain into thinking like you're physically climbing that cliff or that hill. you know that there was one game. It was actually the Iron Man game, right? I remember playing that. We had the VR goggles on, and basically you have the two controllers, and those are your thrusters to sort of push you, like, so you're flying up above the, you're up in the sky, and you look down, and there's water there, and then you got to control yourself, and if you go down too quickly, you actually feel, you feel it in your belly, like you feel like you're going down too quickly, or you're about to smash into a wall. It's actually um, it's very immersive. Like you feel like you're actually doing it, and it tricks your brains into thinking these things are happening. And so, like, for example, if you've ever been on a roller coaster and it comes down really quickly, you get that same feeling in your stomach as well. So yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about Niantic, right? So they're the ones that successfully brought AR to the masses, right? Which is Pokemon Go. So Niantic was actually started in Google by the Google Earth creators. Now, Google Earth creators, so actually it started in 2001 with a company called Keyhole. Now, Keyhole had a small team of they computer scientists, gamers, cartographers, and AI researchers, right? And they were behind Google Earth. So those of you who have used Google Earth, it's really cool, right? You can zoom out, then you can zoom right into certain buildings and all. Now, they were initially going to build this as a game, right? So Google came and they're like, "Oh wow, we like what you're doing," and they acquired Keyhole. And the guy, the CEO then, right, of Keyhole, his name was Hank or Hanky. And he's now the CEO of Niantic. So they basically did Google Earth, Google Maps, and obviously it was a huge success. And then on the side they were experimenting with this, right? And so eventually the whole team, right, came out, and Niantic Labs was founded. And so I'll just quote this: is that our idea was to leverage mobile devices and our understanding of maps to create a new kind of gameplay. So that was how Pokemon Go was born, right? That was Niantic. So look, we're still looking at the players, right? So now game engines are actually helping make the metaverse a reality, right? The platform is called Unity, and Unity is actually used for to make 60% of all the VR and AR games out there, including Pokemon Go. So you can see, right? It's basically software, and you got to create these things. So now last night I talked about the cloud, right? So the cloud is drawing XR closer to reality. Now, what do I mean? So I'll just read this quote from Alex Kipman. He's the inventor of the Microsoft HoloLens. He says, "More and more, we are building value in our intelligent cloud, which is Azure." So Azure is Microsoft's cloud solution. In these collaborative experiences, the content is not inside my device or inside my application. The holographic content is in the cloud, and I just need that special lenses that allow me to see it. So all that information, all that data lives on the cloud, right? And because now we have the infrastructure to support it, we can download large masses of data quickly, and we can stream stuff. It allows for that, right? So that explains why Microsoft is betting pretty big on XR, right? So because they know that XR will boost demand for their cloud services. So that is known as so Microsoft has this app or this software called Microsoft Market, and that's sort of what they use to build their virtual worlds. Now, remember we talked about Unity, and then Microsoft's software for that is Market. And Microsoft actually, they've developed a plugin which allows the Market users to export it onto the Unity platform, right? So that's pretty useful. Now, who's the other big tech player out there who is betting pretty big on XR? Facebook, right? Now we all know that Facebook came about. Facebook users these days, they're mainly for the like the older generations, and they know that Facebook actually depends on other platforms to survive, right? Because Facebook comes as an app, whether you're on your laptop, so you got Microsoft Windows operating system, or you're on a Mac, you've got the Mac OS, or you're on the Android phone, or you're on an Apple iOS phone. So Facebook knows that they depend on these platforms, right? So they're almost like a second layer. So part of their acquisition, Facebook actually bought Oculus. So if you're into VR gaming, Oculus has been around for a while, and so Facebook purchased them. Now you can see that's what the Oculus looks like, right? So the cool thing is that it is actually wireless, right? The Oculus is actually wireless, and so you put it on, and you've got your two controllers, and you're free to sort of move around. But then I've seen some like failed videos on YouTube where people run into walls and they're like smashing stuff around them. So you got to be careful as well. Now, so part of Facebook's strategy is that they're betting big. They're betting really big on VR. They feel that owning the VR world will assure their future in the ad industry, in the advertisement industry, right? In this headline, it shows that so almost a fifth of Facebook employees are now working on VR and AR, right? So that's nearly 10,000 employees. Now, why are they betting so big on it, right? So this is Mark Zuckerberg's comment. He says, today, most of what Facebook does is we're building on top of other people's platforms. I think it really makes sense for us to invest deeply to help shape what I think is going to be the next major computing platform. Now, the next major computing platform, what does that mean? Now, if you think about it, computing is all about platforms, right? You've got platforms, and then the application builders will come and build stuff on the platform. Think about the Apple iOS, right? The iOS is the operating system for the Apple iPhone, for the Apple iPad, and what it's done, it's got this standards that's been set, and the application developers, the app developers will come and they will develop applications on these platforms. So Facebook was one of these app developers. They built for this platform. Now you've got different platforms. You've got on your laptop, you've got Mac OS, you've got Windows, you've got Linux. So you've got different platforms. Now, I believe what Mark Zuckerberg is talking about is about building a platform that is Facebook. So it's like Facebook as an operating system, Facebook as the platform, right, for ads. So think about this. Like, let that sink in a little bit, because one of the major revenue for Facebook is obviously ads, right? And so it's betting pretty big on VR because it believes if it can pull people into this VR world, then it can be that platform for ads. So Niantic is now building tools, right, to map the world in real time. So this animation here, it shows you what it looks like. So if you don't have a map, your Hololens, right, your AR objects, people cannot see or experience the part of the world that you're in. So you'll have cases of people or objects walking through walls, right? That sort of thing, right? Where, like I was saying, these failed videos, right? They run into walls and all that, and the whole idea of mixed reality is where you enhance reality, right? So you've got what's physically there, right? There's a wall there, there's a phone there, and there's furniture here and there, and then you're adding virtual things on top of it. Now, if I'll give you an example. If you have an iPhone, open up your browser and search for lion, right? And with that, you can actually view that lion or tiger or something in with AR, right? It will show that the lion's there, and then you can take a picture with it, right? And take a picture with the lion. Okay, so so what they're building tools that will sort of help map the world in real time. So imagine this, right? You've got these glasses, right? They've got cameras like and sensors and all that. And as you experience the real world, it records the data and sends it up to the internet, to the cloud, of which is then stored. And so that when the next player enters this area, it retrieves that data, and then it sort of has that metadata to tell you where things are, and all that. So Niantic uses visual data captured by Pokemon Go to bulk up models and improve experiences for subsequent users, right? Niantic will likely gain access to more quality data as the quality of mobile sensors improve. So this is similar to, Tesla's robo-taxis. You know how in a Tesla car there are like so many sensors and so many cameras that kind of records all this information, and all this information is then sent back up to Tesla for them to process, right? So effectively, and now this is a quote from Bailey Gifford. Bailey Gifford is a very they're a fund manager that's very forward thinking, right? So they say, whilst these novel augmented reality games are interesting, what is most exciting is that they are helping Niantic to build the world's only planet scale augmented reality platform, right? Over the long run, this platform has the potential to serve as an operating system for hardware and applications which connect the digital world to the physical world, right? So you're talking about a blending of realities here, right? What's like physically in front of you, and also what they want to build around you. Like it's a little bit mind-blowing, right? But it's interesting nonetheless. So who's the other player? The other player would be Qualcomm, where they are becoming a key XR chip supplier. Now, if you can see on the right here, there's a whole bunch of devices, right? There's 30 plus devices here, and Qualcomm chips actually power many of today's XR devices, physical devices. You can see that in the share of the mobile chip market, you have Qualcomm that is actually shrinking because MediaTek and HiSilicon, I think these are Taiwanese and Chinese competitors who are taking its market share, right? So today, Qualcomm dominates the mobile phone chip. Hey Sandra Chang, welcome. It dominates the mobile phone chip market with the biggest share of all mobile chips, but it faces rising competition from the Taiwanese and from the Chinese chip manufacturers. It is also working with Niantic, right? So Qualcomm's working with Niantic to create I suppose to create new AR glasses, right? Like I mentioned, AR glasses, reference hardware, software, and cloud components, right? So these devices will be optimized for Snapdragon, which is what Qualcomm's AR chip is called, and Niantic's platform, right? So they want to be tightly integrated, right? So today, Qualcomm's share of XR chips could be 2 times as big as it is in the mobile phone chips, and we'll see why. So here's what is so this is based on Citibank's research. So here's what they predict can happen or could possibly happen, right? Because once you have all the necessary components in, say, a pair of glasses, that effectively replaces your mobile phone. You no longer need your mobile phone, because what you see on that piece of glass is now on your face, and that face can actually project information that you would need, like you need directions to go somewhere. Hey, you can just tap on it and ask and get directions, and it'll say turn left, turn right. You need to check your mail, right? You maybe do a double tap, or you might want to answer phone calls. Right now, they've got these things that connect to the back of your bone, and you can hear, and there could be a microphone that picks up your voice. So it effectively replaces the phone, right? The phone that you need. So in this in this chart here, it shows, right, the smartphone market trends. Now, should AR headsets, like through like glasses, should they eat into mobile phone demand? Then you'll see the growth of the AR replacing and you see mobile phones kind of dropping here, right? So that's interesting, right? So you see that the Qualcomm's XR chip portfolio actually captures over 60% of Stream's VR headsets. So Stream is a gaming platform, and you'll see that about 60% of the XR or VR games that are available, Qualcomm actually dominates about 60% of that. But we're still early, right? Why are we still early? So if you just look at the numbers, now Steam users, there's about 120 million. And right now, VR users on Steam is only 27.6 million. So there's still quite a way to go, right? It's only about 2.3% of the existing platforms users. So still very early days. Just like, Bitcoin is still very early days. Yum Ju Huat. Oh, okay. You're interested in coming for class. Looking forward to having you here. What's interesting about this is you have all these disruptive technologies and you have all these things that are taking place that seem somewhat disconnected to each other. But then, right, if you start to connect the dots, and then you start to get a glimpse of the future, right? Now, like last night, I talked about robo-taxis, right? I mean, you can imagine, right, where let's just imagine, sometime in future, your glasses now has XR capabilities and also mobile phone capabilities. So you don't even carry a phone anymore, right? I mean, you can still carry a phone, but you don't have to. And with that, you can tap on it, voice activate, and order a robo taxi, right? Because Ubers, you might still have some Uber drivers, but then you can just tap on it, order a robo taxi, a Tesla comes, right? It is that there's no one driving it. You jump inside, and then it takes you to to where you need to go to. And while you're in that journey, because traffic jam and all, it's going to take you half an hour to 45 minutes, and you're sitting in the car, and you decide to sightsee. Like you look out, right? You look out the window because you're in a new city, and you've got all these things in your mind, and so you turn on maybe the tour guide app, right? That now has all this extra metadata that can be projected onto buildings, right? That is the, I don't know, say you're in New York, the Empire State Building, it gives you data on what that's about. You might play a spot of Pokemon Go, right? So you're playing Pokemon Go, and then there's some in-game thing on your Tesla that you can play that connects to your VR headset, and then you play that game, of which you'll have to pay for later. And then when you're done, you step out of the car, and then the transaction is made between your account and it's paid in Bitcoin to Tesla, because Tesla now accepts Bitcoin. And then you go about your day. And when you land, you still have to walk a little bit, but you're still unsure. So again, you tap, and then you get instructions. You got this big yellow animated arrow that points you go straight, right? In 300 meters, turn left, and then you walk left, right? So it's very interesting where all this is going, where I know we're talking about VR, AR, right? And I constantly talk about crypto, obviously. And so when you sort of see what's happening, right, in where all these technologies will eventually converge, and it's going to be such a different future. Okay, next. Now, since we're talking about future, let's see what's in store, right? So XR should be seen as part of this virtual world metaverse opportunity, right? Now, this is taken from the ARC's research, and it says that the revenue from virtual worlds could approach 400 billion by 2025. Now, 2025 isn't that far away. We're in 2021, so 2025 is only 4 years away, right? Now you can see the huge increase in the global gaming market size. Now, and we all know that the gaming industry is larger than Hollywood, right? And then you've got the global AR and VR market size, right? So it's at huge opportunities here, right? It says it based on our research, the global gaming market will increase at a 16% compounded annual growth rate during the next 5 years, right? From 175 billion in 2020 to roughly 365 billion in 2025, right? The AR and VR markets will grow at a 59% compound annual growth rate during the next 5 years, from 3 billion to 28 billion in 2025. So, look, there's a lot of money to be made, and Okay, so laying the foundation for a fundamental shift. Now, this is the CEO of Niantic, right, John Hanke, and I'll just read out and what he quoted. Right, when we talk about AR, we are talking about the beginnings of a fundamental shift in computing, where the world itself, the atoms, comes alive with information and experience, the bits. While this shift will occur over time, important software and hardware advances are laying the foundation today, right? So as I say, that there's all these seemingly disconnected technologies technological innovations and disruptive technological innovations that are taking place, and they seem somewhat disconnected, but they're all going to converge. And when it does, there's going to be this explosion where our lives, will be changed quite dramatically. I mean, could you have imagined, pre 4G, right, pre 3G, that you as a person could be an influencer, right, and demand, right, and that is your job, right? Your job is to be an influencer. Could you have imagined that? I mean, now it's easy to imagine, right, because it's reality. But before these technologies came about, before there was 4G, before the proliferation of smartphones, right? It wasn't. It was, a lot. It was unheard of, unthought of. But now that's a reality. So now imagine, like, just look forward to when all these technologies become the norm, right? Okay, so an industry on the rise, right? Basically, you've got your hardware, your software, your cloud providers. You have the development engines. You got the AR platforms. It's gonna be a very interesting future. I mean, we've all experienced, like, how many Zoom meetings do we have to get into in a week, right? During a work week, and so imagine how this is it's gonna have a very enriching experience, right? And yesterday I did a presentation where this reporter tried to live for 6 weeks without using any of the big tech technologies, and it was really funny because she had a really tough time, right? Like, for example, she had to not use a smartphone because that was like Android, right? And it was connected to the cloud, so she had to use a Nokia 3310. Those of you who are younger in the audience, you probably don't even know about Nokia 3310, but it was a really good phone, right? She had like 8,000 contacts, which she had to shrink down to like 800 because it couldn't store more than 800 contacts. Anyway, look, this brings us to the end of our presentation, right? This is a glimpse into the future. There's a comment from Alex, which I'm just gonna flash up. So Alex says it's like how the growth of the apps ecosystem supercharged the growth of the PC and smartphones. Without Microsoft Office or Skype or video games, it's very unlikely. It's unlikely devices would be as ubiquitous as they are. Alex then continues to say, in the future, you can't leave your house without your glasses, right? So effectively, your glasses become your phone, right? Your smartphone. Yeah, and look, if you have any questions or any comments, look, feel free to put it below. Otherwise, I would like to remind you that we are having our crypto classes. So head over to crypto.equitiestracker.com. There's a special promo code that's scrolling across the screen right now for a discount, right? So that discount is a limited time offer. And look, we have limited space because of the SOPs that we have to follow. So we cannot have too many people in the course, right? So limited seating. Take opportunity and have that promo code that's in front of you. Head to crypto.equitiestracker.com, right? Or just type in crypto in the comment section and someone will reach out to you, right? I encourage you to come for class. Ask me, as many questions as you want. It's gonna be pretty interesting because, as I said, right, you might think, oh, well, what's crypto got to do with virtual reality? It's all gonna converge, right? Everything's gonna converge. And what else is interesting? You talk about games, right? You can go now. Imagine this a very immersive game where you go into and you start building like your virtual office, right? And you can have meetings in your virtual office, and you make meetings and people come and you build your office, right? You build your office, you build your office building, and you buy land, right? You can actually buy land in the metaverse. If for those of you who are interested in crypto, there is Decentraland, or for example, there's another one called the Sandbox, right? You can build. Sui Peng Chan, thank you very much. Oh, that's a very nice comment. So happy I attended this talk. Highly enlightening for a 67-year-old. I'm glad you listen in, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. So you can imagine like going into having a virtual meeting, but instead of just staring at the screen, you put on your goggles, right? And you have purchased land, right? You may subdivide your land. You've built a building and you now have floors, and you can virtually sell your office floors, and people can rent it or they can buy it, and they can decorate it as much as they want. Then you've got these virtual architects or virtual interior designers that can come in and do a fantastic job in your office layout. You can make it as beautiful as you want it. You might even want to have it as a replica of your existing office, right? In the metaverse, in this virtual land, and it all feels, it's highly immersive. It feels very real. And then you actually own so those of you who have been following Future Proof, you've heard of this thing called NFTs, right? So NFTs allow you to sort of purchase and have ownership rights to digital things, right? And look, I think the possibilities are endless. I mean, just as we've seen, right? When you have this platform and people come to this platform, like right now, think of all these games, right? Within games, you actually pay money to buy skins or weapons and to advance yourself. But you're trapped within this ecosystem of each game, right? You can't bring your skin from one game to the next game. So imagine an open platform where you are able to bring your digital assets with you, where you can actually own virtual assets. You can own virtual land. You can own a virtual office building, and it's provable because it's on the blockchain, right? and you put on these immersive goggles to have that meeting in this office that is designed to your specs. And then you've got kids of today who will be architects of tomorrow of this virtual world, engineers of tomorrow of this virtual world. I think the possibilities are endless. I mean, you know that it's interesting, right? Because when you talk about celebrities, right, you will have viewers who don't know who certain celebrities are, but they recognize influencers more than they recognize celebrities, because this is the world that we live in today, right? You think, oh wow, that's crazy, right? But it is very much so a possibility. So I thank you for staying this long, and I thank you that you stayed this long with an open mind, especially Sui Peng Chan. Great. It's great that you listen and you've enjoyed it, because it's this the world's changing, right? And it keeps changing at a faster and faster pace. It's difficult to keep up, but hey, nonetheless, come here every Thursday. Come to Future Proof, and I try to sort of unravel all that for you and give you a glimpse into the future. And do support us. Come for class. Crypto.EquitiesTracker.com. Right? There's a 300 ringgit a discount that you can get between now and Saturday. So looking forward to your support. All right. I thank you. Thank you, everyone. And have a nice evening. Stay safe. And we will see you next week. All right. Take care. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.